Alright, today we're going to talk about the fear machine bullshit, ownership, fake actors, and fake ass beliefs. First of all, it doesn't matter what anyone believes. It doesn't matter what I believe. It doesn't matter. People ask me all these things and stuff. Just random things, you know. And what matters is that what it is found out. What it is discovered. What it is thought of and perceived and configured. What it is broken down and become a tangible, malleable thing that can be figured out. What it is what it is. It's not about what anyone believes, because people have so many fucking beliefs. I mean, hell, you've got an entire belief system. You got these guys over here that swear up and down that their shit's true. These guys over here got the same indoctrination, swears up and down their shit's true. These guys over here got the same indoctrination, swears up and down their shit's true. These people got the same indoctrination, swears up and down their shit's true. You see a pattern emerging yet? Let's add another 10 religions to this, scattered across everywhere, and people can't even put two and two together to see that on the spine of all of these books, they all have one thing in common. They're created by kings and governments. You know, people who wanted to rule over you just so happen to give you a book. It tells you that everything is fine. And that it's cool and you can serve and you can work for money and it's okay. And one thing you gotta know is that everything before 0 year is now come to find out to not add up to shit, does not correlate to shit, does not make any sense. Because if it did, it would all take place here. In a place that was not like this. If you got a fucking beginning and a Lucifer falls down. Lucifer didn't fall down into this fucking place. He fell down into this place. Which means that the story of Lucifer is bullshit. If Jesus roamed this place in an ancient time, that means that story's bullshit, because you know you just came from here. Well, makes it very obvious when you look at it, when you really break it down and you break down the math of it, is that everything before 0 year is completely bullshit. Because we came out of this motherfucker recently. The stumps aren't decayed so much that you can't see that they were literally maybe a fresh cut from maybe a few hundred years ago, maybe a few thousand years ago. Those things are still alive. Those tree stumps are alive. They have growth on top of them. They are not ancient trees. They're not ancient. They're not fossilized. They're not old. They're not decrepit. They're fresh cuts from maybe a couple thousand years ago. So we got to look at the details. I mean, I have old stumps in my backyard that are cracked up and broken, and they look like shit. They don't look like clean cut stumps. They look like they're deteriorating. The wood falls apart. The cracks open up. Let me show you what that shit looks like. It looks like this. There are stumps in my backyard right now. They're broken up because they're old, and they're just fresh cut stumps, of course. They came from the tree cutter guys. The arborists showed up in my yard and cut these tree stumps down. And they're just broken to hell. These fucking stumps here, once they get old, they fall apart. The skin falls off. Everything just fucking falls off of them when they die. And what I'm telling you is that anytime you have your ancient saviors, anybody that's supposed to come save you from come on now. Someone's supposed to come save you now. It's like, come on. Obviously, a king who ruled over you, who oppressed you, wanted you to believe that you were going to be saved by something. So you could continue being ruled over by a fucking king. I mean, that is so easy. Of course you're going to be saved someday. Well, shit, why don't you just keep on pushing those wagons? I I mean, Jesus Christ. For love. I mean, people think they're on a spinning ball. How does that make sense? You got tree stumps that are really there. You know that shit was there. How the fuck are you on a spinning ball? You cut the trees off. You throw this shit out of orbit in space and they go crashing into other planets. It doesn't make any goddamn sense that you'd be on a spinning ball. You'd be in a terrarium with big ass trees. A terra firma of sorts. You know what I'm saying? Would be only possible. Means it's fixed. This is only possible in a terrarium of sorts, observatory created by some creator type being, which is the only reason why we even think that there's a God in the first place. I mean, there probably is someone observing our asses, but it's not spinning around, not like that. That doesn't make any fucking sense at all. This shit ain't happening in space. That shit ain't happening. The beginning of ancient times ain't happening here, bro. That's a fucking lie. The Giza pyramids happening here. Stonehenge happening here. I'm telling you, dude. Jesus was here. Muhammad was here. I'm telling you. Every fucking ruler, Krishna, and all of them was all hanging out here. They wasn't here. Oh. It's really easy. All you gotta do is just put 2 and 2 together. And when 1 + 1 equals like 15, you gotta just start over, man. Because this shit ain't adding up to shit. None of this shit is. So anything before 0 year is, just look it up. Giza hoax. I'm serious. Stonehenge hoax. Seriously, look it up. There's a bunch of them. Mayan hoax. Look it up, I'm telling you. They wanted to establish the fact that there might be aliens, and they create alien technology and alien writings on caves. And come on, man. All of those caves are nothing but the hollowed out root system that they pull all the crystals and quartz crystals and all of these crystals out of. And these silica, which is all it is. It's just pure silica. They pull it out of silica trees. They chop them down. Whatever the precious resources were that make these trees light up was all taken out of it. It all connected with the earth and lit up from the earth. That shit's all being hindered because there's no forces for it to come up through other than the giant hole in the giant center, which is the northern lights now, which you can see, which you know is true. So we know that tree stumps are true. We know that the northern lights are true. We know that astral energy is true. We know that this was created from mining. We know that anything that happens before 0 year in this time would have to be a hoax and made up, because we didn't come from that. We came from this. We know that we're not on a spinning ball because this is not possible, spinning through space, because this would be fucking weird. And if this got chopped off and this got chopped off, this would not be in orbit any longer. So let's talk about what happens after 0 year. Between now and 2017, it's nothing but a manipulated, false teaching of what happened before 0 year. So all we have is a bunch of fake history, a bunch of fake cultures. It didn't matter that we were in a garden and that a Dalmatian was hanging out with a Labrador or a golden retriever or any of these types of animals. You know what I mean? You got different types of bears. You got brown bears and gray bears and black bears and all these different bears hanging out. Didn't matter that they needed to be split up and told that they were races and different races. And now you got a problem with me, you're a racist. And you know, and people walking around and they swear that they're not racist, but they have a problem with another person of a different color, and they feel uncomfortable. Maybe this person might rob me. You're watching too much television. Let me tell you about your values, bro. You got the slave class value system, and you got the ruler class value system. Everything that you watch on TV is for you. Your stories, your chemtrails. Oh my God, Nibiru is going to kill us. Oh my God. And when you're in fear like that, your ass is going to sit there, hope, and wait for somebody to come get you. The kings are ruling over us, but Jesus is going to come save you, or Muhammad or Krishna or somebody. Well, damn, just sit right there and wait and just deal with all this bullshit. Oh, The presidents are monsters. Pizzagate. They're gonna rape us and kill us. And there's a new world order. And they're gonna fucking slaughter us. And the reptilians. And there's all this stuff that proves it. And all this historical shit that happened in ancient times. That proves that reptilians are real. And all of this. I'm telling you, man, they're lying about every goddamn thing. Everything. Let me show you how much more shit they're lying about. If you thought you had enough here, let me show you. No, hold on. Let me finish up the value system real quick. Everything you eat is for you. Everything you watch on TV is for you. Everything you learn about is for you. Everything you go to school to learn about is for you. Everything you see on TV, people getting shot, is for you. You're supposed to be scared of the cops because they only want your value since your goal was taken and it was switched out with you. So they just want to tap onto that bond. Let me hit that bond real quick, man. Why the hell are we going to let them do it and let them sign off for it to give us right to debtor assets unless they're not scared that they're going to get shot? If they're not scared they're going to get shot, now they're going to just readily give up their IDs in the face of all of this free man shit going on. Everybody's talking about getting their straw man and all this stuff. We can't have that. Cops go out and pretend to run these drills, pretend to shoot all these people. They don't have obituaries. They're running drills. Google drills of these crisis actors, and you'll see that they're nothing but drills being ran over and over again. When they get the perfect drill, they run it on the air and say that such and such got shot. It's bullshit. I can go on and on forever about your value system. You got a slave class mindset. You have a low frequency because you're full of heavy metals. They got you chemicalized with shit that really gives you stuff. So look, you got copper pots, silver pots, all this shit over here and their shit. They're super conductive. They're super smart. They're super lit. And the person over here is disgruntled. They're living in fear. They have a value system that is shit. Everything about them is full of beliefs, not based on anything that they can see to understand, to put two and two together, to understand what the fuck's going on. They only have beliefs. So what I'm telling you is that it doesn't matter what you believe, buddy. It only matters what it is, buddy. Your racism is MK Ultra, because if you were hanging out with a brown puppy or a brown bear or a white bear or a black bear, it would have never made a difference in a giant jungle, would have never mattered. That shit is garbage. There's no racism before 0 year. If it's all coming out of this, that means racism is bullshit. You can't own somebody unless you give them an all cap name, which proves that no one can own anyone. Okay, so let's talk about ownership. You have people in relationships. You have people with state marriage licenses. You have people with expectations. You have all kinds of different things taking place today. That is all bullshit. Why is ownership bullshit? It's because nobody owns anything, not even in America. You don't own your dollars. You own your birth certificate, Bond, but you don't own the dollars. You understand? Because it's borrowed. You understand? There is no money. It's borrowed. It's a debt system. It's a debt dollar. Nobody owns anything. You can't even own a person as a king. You have to force them. You have to manipulate them. You have to manipulate the human to have an all-cap name. Okay? So now, Sam Boy, the living person, is now Sam, the corporation. You understand? So now you're owned technically by some kind of right that says that you're owned. Well, if the cops come and pick you up, they're not picking up this guy. They're picking up Sam. Because we have a bond with Sam, that we have a charge with Sam, and Sam needs to be summoned because Sam is an entity that's not alive, and we need to summon Sam and bring him to court and this and that. You don't own shit. But you own you. A person has the freedom to enjoy life, to take things, to have ownership of their own personal things. It's different. But you don't own people. Nobody owns another person. No one can ever own another fucking person. That's why you have Sam the Cap. So, when it comes to your state relationships, you're already owned as a corporation by somebody else. So when you're forced to think that you're owned under this illusion of ownership, you're going to need to have ownership yourself. Otherwise, this doesn't fucking work. So you need to a person in your life that you can rule over and that you can own and you can have a marriage license with, that you can have papers with. What are you, a fucking mule? Do you need to be on paper? Because you're a mule, right? Unless you have something that's documenting that you are free, then you're being owned, right? So what's the fucking point of having papers? You're not a mule, are you? You have papers that set us up notice that you aren't owned, then those papers are worth it. Those are like freedom documents. Those papers are worth it. Anytime you have paper that says that you have official this and now you have official that, and it's not freeing you from something, you're being owned. You want a relationship because you're already owned, buddy. You don't have any freedom, so you need ownership over someone else to control them. That's why King Solomon, the sun god character, in this time, King David was a sun god. I mean, they're all sun characters, mostly. They're not even real stories, mostly. Look it up. They all have suns behind their heads, including Christ, including Guadalupe. Whatever. Including Kirsten and all of them. Whatever. Even Muhammad. All right. So nobody owns anything. In your woman relationship, your man relationship, you feel like you have ownership of this person. This person goes and stays with you for, say, 30 years, 40 years, and they get, oh man, I've been with this same person forever and ever. And it's just, it sucks. Well, understand that is an illusion. No one can possibly own someone. It is an illusion. That's why you have to compromise and argue, because no one wants to be owned by anybody. So let's just throw that out. You got a state contract that takes ownership of your kids. You have all kinds of shit, bullshit. Part 2 coming soon. Let's take a break.